What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, September 28th, 2023, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is 1:20 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and I wanted to give you an update on those nuclear warplanes that were in the air last night, and I also have some critical breaking news to share with you. Right now, we actually have two nuclear war command and control planes up in the air, and these planes are also known as Takamo planes or the Boeing E-6 Mercury. And these planes can remotely launch all of our Minuteman III ICBMs, and they can also communicate with our submerged nuclear armed submarines and our airborne bombers. So they're critical for our nuclear deterrent. And so there's two of them in the air right now, one over southwestern Missouri doing loops, and then there's another one coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. So still a lot of nuclear warplane activity today. But last night we had three of them take off at the same time, all from Tinker Air Force Base, and they did some really interesting things. So I want to just show you guys that. But here's one of the nuclear warplanes that is airborne right now, and it's doing loops here near Springfield, Missouri. And usually, when they do loops like that, it means that they're communicating with one of our submerged nuclear armed submarines because they have a trailing wire antenna that they release from the plane and they fly in circles in order to straighten out the antenna so then they can submit VLF coded messages. So here's the second one just coming in from the Gulf. It took off from Tinker Air Force Base, which is their home base. And this one took off from Offutt Air Base, which is home of Stratcom. And so here are the three nuclear warplanes that were airborne last night. One of them landed in Patuxent River after trying to land at Dover Air Force Base, or at least it was doing loops over Dover Air Force Base, and then it landed at Patuxent. But what was interesting about that one is that it was doing loops over northeastern Connecticut, which is really bizarre. You usually don't have these planes doing loops over land. And in northeastern Connecticut, that's really bizarre. And also, Ratty 67, the call sign of one of them, um, did loops in the Gulf, and then it turned around and went back to base after doing just like one or two loops. And a P-8 Poseidon was trailing it as it was going out into the Gulf, and then the P-8 Poseidon stayed in the Gulf and turned its transponder off. So I'm wondering if there was some kind of Russian sub in the Gulf of Mexico, because it's very unusual for a P-8 Poseidon, which is a sub hunter plane, to trail one of these nuclear warplanes. Okay, so let me just show you guys a more zoomed in picture here. So here we have the one that tried to land at Dover Air Force Base, and then it eventually landed in Patuxent River. This one was doing loops over northeastern Connecticut. And then here's the one that was really bizarre. So it went out into the Gulf and it did one of these circles and then it just went back, which is very strange. And they fly in circles like this when they start transmitting those VLF messages to our submarines. And like I said, they fly in circles, so this way the antenna is as vertical as possible, so this way they can penetrate through the ocean water to reach the submarine. But here's that P-8 Poseidon that was trailing it, and at some point the P-8 Poseidon turned its transponder off. So here you can see that the P-8 Poseidon just disappeared. Okay, very, very strange. So here we have it uh, in one shot. Okay, you can see it's right there. And then just like 15 minutes later, it disappears. Okay, so there might have been a Russian sub in the Gulf last night, and that's why this E6 went back to base, because maybe they didn't want to risk the E6 something happening to it. I have no idea. And then here's that P-8, and it was flying around the Gulf last night. Okay, so very unusual situation. A massive number of emergency action messages. Guys, things are really getting crazy. Make sure you're prepared. I want to read to you some of the latest breaking news from around the world. And the biggest headline is that NATO will transfer 2.4 billion euros worth of ammo to Ukraine. NATO and Ukraine have concluded framework contracts for the supply of main types of ammunition, Alliance Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said at a joint press conference with President Vladimir Zelensky. NATO will transfer 155 millimeter shells, anti tank missiles, and tank ammunition to the Ukrainian armed forces worth 2.4 billion euros. Okay, that is a massive amount of ammunition, guys. Okay, that is insane. So, this war is going to continue. Okay, this is a massive amount of ammo for Ukraine. And we also have some breaking news that the Russian Federation and North Korea are agreeing on the transfer of weapons. A dialogue is ongoing, U.S. State Department says. We have repeatedly spoken about this and warned that arms negotiations between Russia and North Korea almost certainly took place during Kim Jong-un's trip to Russia, and we believe they continue, State Department spokesman Matt Miller said. He added that the parties can agree on an exchange. Russia will receive weapons and North Korea military technology. Okay, so this just confirms what I shared with you guys, that Kim Jong-un was interested in Russian nuclear bombers. Specifically, he was interested in the Tupolev 95, the Bear bomber, which is similar to our B-52. So who knows what Russia is going to give North Korea, but obviously North Korea wants to complete their nuclear triad because they have the submarines now, they have the land-based missiles. The only thing they need are bombers, okay? And so if they can get some Tupolev 95s and some long-distance cruise missiles that they can put nuclear warheads on, then North Korea has a half-ass nuclear triad. Okay. We also have some breaking news that Iran may soon enter into an agreement with Russia on the transfer of missiles. This is being reported by the Institute for the Study of War, and it could happen after October 18th, after the expiration of UN Security Council Resolution 2231, according to which Iran does not have the right to supply ballistic missiles to other countries. According to analysts, Russia's goal is to acquire Iran's Fatah 110 and Zulfagar ballistic missiles, both of which have a range of 300 kilometers or more. Okay, so this war, guys, is continuing to escalate. And we have some interesting news coming from the Pentagon and the State Department. Apparently, they disagree on weapons for Ukraine, and this is coming from a senior U.S. administration official who spoke to Politico, and he said that the State Department and Pentagon are moving at different speeds based on different points of view on weapons for Ukraine. Okay, so one of them wants to be more aggressive, one of them wants to be more diplomatic. I'm guessing the Pentagon wants to be more aggressive because, that's the Defense Department. And the State Department probably wants to be more diplomatic and hold off on the long range weapons. Okay. We also have some breaking news that apparently the current governor of Arizona has stepped down. And I don't know if this is just temporary, but apparently Republican Kimberly Yee, the state treasurer, is currently going to be the acting governor, and we really don't know why this happened. Some are saying that Katie Hobbs has some health issues. We also have some breaking news that Elon Musk's SpaceX has received its first contract from the U.S. Space Force to provide customized satellite communications for the military under the company's new Starshield program. Okay, so Elon Musk is weaseling his way in to the military, and that concerns me because Elon Musk is kind of a mad scientist, and he has some really crazy ideas like Neuralink, where he wants to implant wires into people's brains, so this way you can literally plug your brain into computers and upload your thoughts and conscious onto computers and interface with machines and control machines with your mind. Just he's like a crazy guy. He wants to colonize Mars, and now he has a contract for customized satellites communications, okay, for the military. So, um, is Elon Musk going to create some kind of artificial intelligence and upload it into our military? And then we're going to have a Terminator type situation where we're going to be fighting for survival against Elon Musk's AI. I really hope not. Um, so that's some of the latest breaking news, guys. But the situation in Ukraine and around the world is continuing to escalate. We had four major public figures in Russia threaten to attack NATO and say that NATO is part of the conflict. We had Sergei Lavrov, Sergei Shoigu, Maria Zakharova, um, all these big public figures, Dmitry Medvedev, okay, all saying that at this point, NATO is basically part of the war because they're helping Ukraine uh, conduct, these missile strikes. They provide intelligence and they coordinate all these missile strikes that are destroying Russian subs and eliminating high-ranking Russian military officials. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'll keep you updated. And if there's any other breaking news, I'll come back with another update later on this evening. Until next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.